I'm Dan Van Orden, founder of Idea Room, and we're proud to be the official sponsors of the America Builds Better podcast. Enjoy the episode, guys.
Hey guys, what's up? This is Jared.
I am better than I deserve.
Builders of America, are you ready?
The technical fiascos this morning.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
For the longest time, I sat high to say, Shannon, is that the way you see it? Is this the way I see it? I witness it every day.
Welcome back to another podcast with America Builds Better.
I'm even more excited, if I'm being honest.
I'm just jazzed to be on the show, guys. Thanks for hyping me.
Get out in your communities and do something good for somebody else. It will make you feel better, I promise.
America Builds Better starts now.
Hey, what's going on? This is Jared, and welcome to America Builds Better. We are back with another episode, and let me tell you something right now. This is a big one, all right? This is the first episode of our Builder Show series. So you guys watched along as we did the previous show series. We got a lot of really positive feedback. We are going to be focusing specifically on one task over the next 6 weeks, and that is getting you excited for what's going on in York, Pennsylvania, June 10th and the 11th, as we join Shield Wall Media and all of the different vendors and sponsors and different things as we take on the York Exposition Center for the Post Frame Rural Plain Builder Show, sponsored by Frame Building News. I can tell you something right now. Nothing gets me going like a Shield Wall show. All right. This is where deals get closed. This is where people are walking the show and ready to buy and ready to have good conversations. And I can tell you, whether you're a contractor, whether you're a dealer, whether you're a builder, whatever it is that you do in our industry, I can tell you, you want to be in York, June 10th and the 11th for the Builder Show. Big thank you up front to Idea Room. They are our sponsor of the podcast. They are doing great things with 3D configurators. If you're in the market for a post frame, metal building, or shed configurator, contact the team at Idea Room. Defined SEO is here for your marketing needs. If you have any needs there, I can tell you this much. I want to hype it up as much as I can today. I'm going to share it for the first time. This is a little exciting. Let me bring it in here. I can tell you this much. Shield Wall is where you want to be if you want information on the industry. Plain Builder, Rural Builder, Roll Forming Magazine, Frame Building News, Metal Roofing Magazine, Roofing Elements, Garage, Shed, and Carport Builder, and Metal Builder are available. And the best part is they are free. If you need a copy, contact me or contact the team at Shield Wall, and we can get you signed up for a subscription to any of the trade publications, and you can stay in the loop on everything industry related. All right. We're going to get Gary in here from Shield Wall Media. We are super excited to have him here. He is the man, the myth, the legend. Gary, what's going on, man? How are you?
My dog decided to come and say hello. I'm not.
That's
Gary
okay.
Gary's not the fuzzy one. This is Max.
Well, I can tell you.
Well,
let's lead right
the fuzzy
there.
One, but
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Let's lead right there.
No,
I think one of the things I want to call out at the beginning of the episode. So Max builds a pole barn. Max builds a metal roof.
Yeah, he's the real.
You guys are
of
doing
this.
Yep. You guys are doing awesome things in the industry. Always giving back to the community. We love that about you at Shield Wall. As Max has given us his good morning message.
Yes,
I can tell you this.
It's time for him to take a walk outside because he gets to go in and out as he wants. He's telling me I've got to
That's okay.
open the door for him, so we're going to take a short stroll.
I like it.
Yeah, he's
like
kind
it.
of the boss.
That's all right, man.
Very
That's all
spoiled.
right.
If anybody ever visits our office, he goes to work with me pretty much every day.
I love it. I love it. I can tell you this, guys. Gary is the mastermind behind Shield Wall Media. So if you're enjoying one of the publications, this is the guy you want to track down at the trade show. He's the mastermind behind the Builder Show. He's the mastermind behind the Roll Forming Show. We're just really thankful to be working with Gary and his team at Shield Wall because they are doing such great things in our industry and helping this industry move forward. Gary knows so much about the post frame space. It's unreal. And we want to hype the show up because we want you to be excited for it. We want to give you the layout. We want to give you all the ins and outs. We're going to talk to several people. We're going to have the team from Graber Post. We're going to have the team from Idea Room and Smart Build. We're going to talk to Shield Wall periodically between now and then. But Gary, give us an overview about you, brother. Tell us a little bit about yourself and Shield Wall and all the things, right?
Gosh, brief history. For most of my life, I was actually in a different industry. Actually, about half. I'm getting older, so now it's about half my life in this. I was in the commercial fitness industry. I was an assistant strength coach at the University of Iowa, and I spent up until I was about 50 more worried about lifting heavy things than pretty much anything else. Then through life circumstances, I ended up selling advertising in a magazine, and somehow 20 years later, I ended up owning the magazines, and I took a company that did a couple of magazines from a magazine publishing company to one that's got a couple of trade shows, data generation, line of children's books, all kinds of things. Went from basically 3 magazines when it started, 7 magazines, 2 shows, data generation, children's books, and probably a coffee shop and some other stuff in there someplace. But yeah, no, it's been an adventure.
I can tell you, man, I have enjoyed immensely getting to know you over the last couple of years. We've been working really closely as we've built out America Builds Better, and we are looking forward to the trade show. I think one of the things that's really missing in this industry from a just straightforward talking point is how we share content with one another, right? And I think one of the things that I really enjoy about when I get a copy, like I have Plane Builder right here on my desk, it's on my desk for a while. I really enjoy reading it, right? It brings me content that's relevant to what I'm doing every day. And there's so few things these days that do that for you in the kind of formatting, meaning printed magazine, anymore in this industry. I mean, do you see it differently than that?
No, it's not just printed magazines, it's everything. It goes back to one of the
Correct.
most pervasive frustrations, and that's most people that are in business, especially if it's like publishing is somewhat of a ambiguous business. It's really, most people have a really hard time explaining what they do. And whenever you don't know what you do, it's really hard to make what you do be different from anything else. And the key to all of our magazines, the key to our shows, is how we differentiate our 2 shows from each other and from other people's shows, and how we differentiate our magazines from our other magazines and from our competitors' magazines. And most people have no idea what they actually do. And if you don't know what you do, it's hard to focus on what matters and ignore what doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I think that's really, really good advice. In this industry that we're in, it's the people that take the risks and the gambles to be ahead of the curve and learn, like myself, right? You know, I've really made it my mission here in this industry space to learn everything I can and be the best version of myself I can be. And I find that, you know, getting copies of the magazines or staying up on industry trades and things like that tend to make me a better overall salesperson, tends to make me a better trainer for the staff underneath of me. And that's what I really enjoy about the publications. And honestly, it's how we connected. I was a subscriber, right? I mean, I came to the trade show.
And it gives you a chance to build value. Our relationship's a great example of that. Whenever we end up getting together or whenever we're doing stuff like this, 90% of what we actually end up talking about is tangential to your core business or my core business.
That's right.
And that's how our relationship gets built. And once there's actual trust involved, then things like negotiating rates or whatever get a whole lot simpler. And if you spend the time getting so that the 2 people know each other and trust each other, as opposed to what's it going to take for me to get you into this ad today, it's a whole different world. So
100%, 100%. And I can tell you from my perspective, the industry itself is going through this like monumental transitional moment right? We're seeing things like AI and digital advertising and things kind of overtaking the industry, but there's still a very large segmented audience here of contractors, plain community folks that just want what they've always had, good old reliable, informational all the time. That's what I like about when I get my copies of the magazines or when I go to the trade shows. Like, these are certain things that are just not going to go away. And I mean, what was it? You gave me the numbers. It's 100,000 subscriptions from 60,000 unique subscribers. Is that,
Yeah.
am I
Yep.
getting that right?
That's give or take. I mean, it goes up or down a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
That's
100,000.
crazy.
Yeah. Well,
That's crazy. It's awesome. It's awesome.
no, it's good, and it gives us resources. But back to what you were saying about AI and digital platforms and things. One of the things that I think I notice it a lot in young people coming into the industry is that they don't focus on what they need to do. They focus on how they're doing it. Because, like, for example, we've got digital versions of our magazines. And one of the things that we do that's a little bit different is we post the PDFs of all of our issues on it, but we also reformat every article in every magazine so that you can actually read it on your phone without going insane. But that doesn't, it changes the delivery method, but it doesn't change the product. And whether you're looking at AI, whether you're looking at email, whether you're looking at websites, whether you're looking at whatever, essentially our editorial, our job is to tell a story. And whether it's that, whether it's a podcast, whether it's a webinar, whether it's whatever, you're still telling the story. And if your story sucks, it doesn't matter if you've got the best way in the world of getting it across, it still sucks.
Correct.
So
Correct.
it's that kind of goes back to people focusing on what they actually do. And
people are focused on process, not on their sales. I've noticed that a lot. You know, everybody says they have the best processes in the world, but they're not the people who sell the most buildings, which drives me nuts from a sales perspective, right? I think that's one of the huge things in this industry. The younger you are, the more likely it is that you have what you feel is the best process. But if you're not selling the most buildings, then is it really the best process, right?
No.
I see that all the time. I see that all the time.
But okay, but it's like talking about trade shows. One of the things that we do at our trade shows is we have educational programming. And one of the cool things about our educational programming, whether it's the panel discussion we're having on barn dominiums or whatever, is all of our educational programming is free. One of the things that is a frustration is people will go to the programming that they like, not the programming that they need. Like you're mentioning that people want to focus on the process rather than on the product.
Yeah.
That's because they're excited about how many clicks, what's my engagement, what's this, what's that. And they're excited about building the funnel when what they should really be excited about is building their business. And we can run, if we ran 2 educational programs at the same time, if we had an hour-long seminar at 9 o'clock on preparing your business to sell and managing debt, receivables, and everything else to optimize the multiplier value for your business. And we ran one on the 10 best ways to drive a nail. There'll be 100 people watching somebody teach them how to do something that they've been doing for the last 40 years that they can probably do better than the person teaching the seminar. And there'll be 3 wives with their kids sitting in the back of the one about planning for succession and how to value your business.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, it's funny that you say that because that is so true. The more you go to trade shows, the more that people tend to go to the things that they don't need to go to. Like you're there to learn something, right? And if there's a seminar that's offered, get outside your comfort zone. Again, Post Frame Rural Plane Builder Show, York, Pennsylvania, June 10th and the 11th. I can tell you right now, you want to be there. If you're listening to this, number one, you've got to be there. If you're in the area, come and hang out with us. We're all going to be there. There are so many cool things that you're going to be able to see and learn while you're there. I can tell you this much, and I just want to give shout outs along the way. ASCO, Graber Post, E-Impact Marketing, McElroy Metal, Red Dot Products. We love the team at WEH Supply. There are so many things, whether you're needing supplies for your buildings, whether you're needing marketing help, whether you're needing just information in general, they're going to be there. All right. Why not make the one stop you make in the summertime be a trip to York? It's beautiful this time of the year. And I can tell you, you will enjoy spending time. Gary and I will be there. So if you're listening to us right now, we're better than to come see us in York, right, Gary?
There you go. We'll be there. A couple of things. Not that, it still amazes me that anybody wants to talk to me, but that's a different conversation. One of the differences that we do with our shows are smaller. We don't try to cram 20,000 attendees on the floor. What that means is the elevator pitch that I give to exhibitors is we cater to the people that sign the front of the check, not the back of the check. So we're looking at the people that are actually the business owners. What that really means is, from the attendee side, is it means you're not going to have a whole lot of tourists, or at least not as many tourists. So if you want to talk to Thomas at ASC Machine Tools about a profile on a roll former, you'll actually have an opportunity to talk to Thomas and have a conversation, as opposed to standing in line behind 17 other people, their kids, their dog, and the guy that sweeps up the bathrooms at night. Yeah. So it's something where it's a little bit more of an exclusive clientele, because the people that actually are the decision makers and are active in the business need that time to have conversations. Most trade shows, the objective is you go in, you get a contact name, you get out, and you follow up the week after the show, because you don't have any opportunity to actually talk to them there. Ours aren't like that, and we don't want them to be like that.
I have to give a little bit of a nugget, and Gary, I don't even know if you know this or not, but the whole reason that I do podcasting, the only reason that I do podcasting, is I met Shannon at one of your shows. And we had a high-level conversation at a Shield Wall show, and I have said it every time since. There are two types of trade shows, and I love the way you describe it as the team that signs the front, not the back of the check, right? That could not be any more true. If you want one-to-one contact with a big company like a Graber Post or an AccuForm, or you want to come talk to me, I'll be there. If you've been listening to me for the last couple of years on podcasts and you want some time with me or the team at Idea Room or Smart Build, I mean, there are so many good teammates here in the industry. You're not going to find a better opportunity to get in front of them and spend some time with them. What I like about it is, if you have a relationship with someone, you can get in for free. You know, this isn't necessarily, that's the question I get asked a lot. The money that Gary gets from the door, the general admission, goes to charity.
Yeah, we donate. I was going to say, and it's only $50. There's no other place. I mean, I had somebody one time complain to me about having to pay $50 to get in. And I kind of tend to be snarky on occasion. And I told him that if he can't afford to buy somebody lunch, he shouldn't be at the trade show. But we do donate it to charity. We've donated it. We did a lot with relief for Hurricane Helene last year. Whenever the Hawaii wildfires, the year before that, we did stuff with Team Rubicon, that is a group of veterans that goes in whenever everything's still hot and tries to fix things and save people. We've done some things within the industry for people that had medical problems and emergencies, but all the money from the gates. If you give me $50 at the show, that $50 goes to somebody else. We don't keep that.
Contact your exhibitor of choice, because they do have passes available as well. So if there is an exhibitor that you're coming to see or have a relationship with, contact them.
There are, and you can find that on our website. If you go to postframebuildershow.com, that'll link to the tab on the frame building news site that will have all the exhibitors.
We'll
And
link to that for you. Yep.
all of our exhibitors get unlimited guest passes, and the guest passes are not limited. It's not something where you have to be the correct flavor of person. They can give them to anybody, and it's
Yep.
also full access passes. So it's not something where if you get a guest pass, we're going to hit you up for more money to do the educational programming.
Yep.
I just, as a business practice, I don't believe in nickel and diamond people. I think that if you're
Yep.
going to pay something, you ought to know what you're paying and what you're getting for it.
What I really like, so this is a call out to exhibitors. If you haven't done a shield wall show before, really want to stress what Gary just said there. So as someone who's an exhibitor, right, I can give unlimited passes to clients, people that I want to come to the trade show to see my products in person. If there's, York is a fairly centralized location for several different states. It's not that far off the beaten path. I can tell you, if you're in the market to exhibit your products at, a trade show, I would give the team at Shield Wall a call. This is kind of your call to action. If you're anywhere near the roll forming space, if you're a metal building manufacturer, roll forming shows a really good place to be. There's a lot of people there that are looking for roll forming and roll forming equipment. That show's coming up later in the year too. That one's going to be in Gatlinburg, which is probably going to be a blast. I'm sure you guys have lots of fun in Gatlinburg.
And it's going to be our biggest roll forming show. We're already, as far as booth sales go for that, we're already past where we were last year, and it's in September. So we'll probably add another 20%.
An awesome time. That's going to be an awesome time.
Something else too, just kind of a thumbnail for exhibitors. We are different than any other show that you're ever going to do, and we do a couple of things. One of them is all the exhibitors get the attendee list at no charge after the show. We don't sell it. We don't give it out. If you get any emails saying buy the exhibitor list, it's from a Shield Wall show, it's a scam. We don't sell our lists, but we do give it away to exhibitors after the show. We also don't nickel and dime you for things like if you go to most shows, you get to pay about $800 for a scanner for the QR codes so you can. Yeah, tell me about that one. We actually made and this was Gary being difficult customer, we'll say. I would have probably phrased that a little more crudely if this wasn't being a podcast. But I actually badgered the people that do the software that we use for attendees into changing their QR codes so that all of the information for the contact is embedded in the QR code. Normally what happens is you pay $800 for a scanner, and then that links to a proprietary software program that if you try to scan it off of your phone or anything else, there will be virtually no useful information in the QR codes on the people's badges. So all the stuff with the badges is a scam to get you to buy an $800 scammer for 2 days. Ours,
Yep.
all of the contact information, name, address, phone number, email, everything is in that QR code. So you can actually just scan it with that, use a free program and put it into an Excel sheet, or you can use it and scan it and directly put it into an Outlook contact.
And this is
and if
good
you feel
for
guilty
this
and
is
you'd like to give me $800 for that, you're welcome to. Just give it to me in cash at the show.
This is a key component for not just exhibitors, but also for attendees. So if you meet somebody at the show that you want to form a relationship with, it's a quick way to scan a badge and be on your way. And let me just give you a nickel's worth of free advice. You don't even need anything fancy. It's just the camera on most smartphones these days will pull up a QR code and you can get that scanned. And I can tell you, that's a huge benefit, man. Gary, that's a huge benefit.
And it's for a long time, I was involved kind of in the back end on other shows. And one of the things that I got to see is I got to see all the frustrations of the things that other people did. And I was working on something, and I got a critter to get rid of, is one of the things that I was told was an advantage is I don't have to, whenever I see something I want to fix, since I own the company, I fix it. I don't need to go through a committee. I don't need anybody else's approval. I don't need to stand on one leg, spin a plate, and do all kind of stupid tricks. So what that means is there's a lot of things like that we just don't need to deal with. I mean, like one of the big problems at a lot of trade shows is a problem for exhibitors is what people call brown bagging. And there'll be somebody that is a manufacturer that's walking the show floor and basically jumping on people after they come out of one of their competitors' booths and trying to steal them as a customer. And we actually not only try to prevent that. Anybody at my shows that turns over somebody to me that's brown bagging on the floor, I'll give a $50 reward, and then I kick them out of the show. We've got a number of people, and it's a running joke. Ask Missy the stories about that. I've got some people that think it's funny because I will literally chase down people down the aisles whenever they're doing that, but it's not fair to the exhibitors, and it also creates a bad experience for the attendees because basically people are getting stalked in the aisle by people that they don't necessarily want to talk to or have any idea who they are. But
well, this is your show from concept to reality.
yep.
And you take immense responsibility in making sure that not just the exhibitors, the attendees, anyone that's there inside of that environment is taken care of and honored, whether it be their exhibitor fees that are paid or their attendee, fees that are paid or whatever. You want them to get the best experience possible, and you take that feedback very seriously. What I can tell you about other trade shows that I've been to is they're managed by marketing companies. They're managed by people who don't necessarily have the end user in mind. They're trying to take care of a bigger project for a client, whereas Shield Wall handles the Shield Wall team takes care of all the planning for this event. So it's curated from the top down. And everything about it is made for the industry. It's by people who know the industry inside and out and have been doing this a lifetime. I mean, however many hundreds of years of experience your team has combined, that's the team experience that's brought to a Shield Wall show. That's why it feels good. One of the main things that people go on and on about is the buffet, right? You guys have some killer
we do
food
feed
at
people
these
pretty
things.
well.
Man, you guys feed us. I can tell you right now. That's the highlight, man. After you've closed a couple of deals on the sales floor, after you've enjoyed a couple of days of really just getting into it, man, the food. I know that's funny.
Honestly, the food would probably cost you more than the $50 entry fee because we've got an open bar too. And one of the things, long time ago, I had a sales guy, whenever I was just a little puppy, tell me that if you sell somebody something, you can sell them garbage, but if you give them something, you got to give them something good. So like we've got like top shelf things to drink. We've got good quality food, and
we're not being facetious either. I'm serious. If you're in the area, it's worth coming just for that. Like seriously.
Yeah, if you showed up at Wednesday on 4:30, whenever that opens, there'll be entertainment. If you pay the $50, it's a cheap date.
It's a great cheap date. I can tell you, you guys had these sliders in Dayton at the roll forming show last year. These like little cheeseburger sliders. Man, those were so good. And I can tell you, after you've been on the show floor all day, it's a great way to end your day. Meet with a couple of clients, or if you're a customer, look for your favorite vendor. That's the time to close that deal. That's right.
Well, and
it's a social hour.
That's the way business really happens. I mean, business. One of the funniest things is watching people that don't understand an elevator pitch trying to come up with an elevator pitch, because how much business do you come across that you run into somebody where you're both on the escalator, you're going into the bathroom, or you're in line getting those sliders or whatever, and you've got 15 seconds to get somebody's attention and tell them why, Jared, I recognize you. This is why. And boom, hit them. That's basically where our shows get the people that sign the front of the check, not the back of the check, came from.
Yep.
Because
and I can tell you that's exactly the way it is. That is probably the best way to sum it up, is you are going to generate better relationships at a show like this because it's curated from the top down.
Well, it's the real reason for that is, and anybody that knows me, there's not a whole lot of things that I do that I don't have a reason that I can explain for. It's just kind of the way my brain works. Sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes not. But whenever the bigger shows, have to serve two masters. The bigger shows are tied to an association. A part of the objective for that association is educating the rank and file. Educating the rank and file means doing things like safety training for the people that are going to be on the roof, safety training for the guy that's carrying the hammer, safety training for the guy that's going to be driving the truck. And that's how you drive big numbers of people on the floor as well. So it is in their best interest to do things like, and we partner with them on a lot of things. Like we started partnering with the NFBA on a lot of things. And one of the big things they have every year is they have Maze Nails sponsors a nail driving competition. And I can tell you that and nothing against that, and we love the guys that swing hammers, but I'll bet that there's not one CEO or one person that actually signs a check or has sole decision-making authority that was putting on goggles and banging on a nail with a stiletto hammer.
Yeah, I don't like being pulled away from the trade show floor. A lot of other trade shows really focus on not keeping the trade show floor open for large periods of time. They really focus on these like 3 and 4 hour blocks. And, you know, hey, to each their own. But if you're spending the kind of money that you're spending to exhibit your product, I want front and center as much time as possible, open space with the customers, the sales floor people. I want it open. That's what I value about it.
Sure.
I mean, as an exhibitor and somebody who's been there as a customer and somebody who's been there as an exhibitor, I can tell you that's the best part about it, right? If you've got multiple team members, you're going to have time to get that other team member out there to walk the floor and maybe talk to other businesses, right? That's the thing that I really enjoyed about the roll forming show. That specific task of, when I was there with my partner, I was out working the floor. I was talking to people, then we'd switch, you know, and there was just lots of time to interact. And it gives the customer so much more time to interact with you and your products and not be in such a tight window. That's a big part of it. I mean, that's a huge advantage in my opinion. I was disappointed, quite frankly, with that last trade show we went to a little bit because I didn't have the time and attention that I really wanted to have with the customers. I had to schedule time off site, and not that that's a bad thing, but you know, if it's 7:30 and I've been standing most of the day, I might want to just go get something to eat with my team or go back to the hotel room and chill. But it forced me to work outside the confines of the sales floor, which is somewhat uncomfortable a little bit, I think.
Well, some of that has to do with the mechanics of the way that the show's done and their value proposition, though, because
that's true.
If you come to our shows and you get through the door either for free if you're a guest of an exhibitor or for $50, there's a different value that needs to be associated to be worthwhile than if you're paying somebody $350, $400 to do education, to see the educational programming. If you're paying $400 to include classes, you're going to prioritize the classes. If you're paying $50 to get on the exhibit floor, you're going to prioritize getting on the exhibit floor. I mean, if you paid a whole bunch to be able to attend classes and you were so busy talking to exhibitors that you didn't attend any classes, you'd feel like a chump.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
It's part of it's a structural thing, and that's one of the things that we do. I mean, one of the reasons everything that we do, whether it's our magazines, whether it's our shows, whether it's these, we do things a little bit different for a reason. Because if we did everything exactly the same as everybody else does, you'd have no reason to choose us over the other people.
And I think it sets you guys apart, right? It makes you more contractor focused, in my opinion. I mean, you're focused on your core clients. You're focused on the people that are coming to your trade shows and giving them the most enjoyable experience possible. That's why I love going.
Well, and we're focused on trying to benefit the industry. Because like two things. I mean, one of them, we'll do this again. But we give these away. These are free. We're going to start selling to people outside the industry probably this fall. But so far since October, we've given away, and we're into the second printing, we've given away 5,000 max builds of metal roofs. They go to schools, they go to individuals, they go to libraries, they go to associations, and it's to give little kids positive exposure to the construction trades while they're making emotional attachments before they're 6 years old, so that then, instead of being I want to be an astronaut, I want to be a baseball player, I want to be a whatever, God forbid, an
YouTube
influencer.
influencer.
But
Yeah.
it's but yeah, we went to the same bad joke at the same time. That's awesome.
We did. It's not a joke though. It's not a joke. Get your kids off YouTube.
It should be. It should be a joke.
Yeah.
But
it's too bad it's not.
No, it is. Well, it'll cycle back through, and the world needs people making fries and burgers too. So the influencers will end up rotating through
matters.
that.
Everything matters. We need people to do things. Okay.
Yeah.
AI is not going to build your building. Okay. If you're listening alongside this, let me get on my pedestal for 30 seconds. AI will never build a house. Okay. It's just not going to do it. We're still going to need tradesmen. We're still going to need people that are swinging hammers and driving nails. That's never going to be an AI process. I don't care. We are a lifetime away from that. So that's why I want to talk specifically to you, Mr. Contractor, you, Mr. Building Dealer, you, Mr. Whatever it is you're doing. The swinging of hammer and driving of nails, and getting that emphasis in kids. Like, I've got 3 daughters. I want them to know trades. Quite frankly, they might make more going into trades than going into a, what would be considered a elite profession, right? I wouldn't mind if my daughter swung a hammer, drove a nail, worked on a car. To me, it builds character and teaches valuable lessons and life skills by getting and working with your hands. And what I love about Gary, and Gary won't give himself enough credit, is that Gary really, really cares about that. Gary has passions beyond a trade show, passions beyond a magazine. And Gary will tell you all about Max builds a metal roof and Max builds a pole barn, because that's when Gary gets real high level caring about it. Am I right about that, Gary?
Yeah, well, it's
you really chance to do something. Care about development.
It's a chance to do something good. And just back, it's yes. If making money is fine, and gosh knows I'm not going to complain about getting paid marginally more than minimum wage, but it doesn't change anything. If somebody says, and I'm old, and I'm luckily still getting older, but whenever anybody talks about their legacy, anybody that says I made this much money is a loser.
Yeah.
People that aren't losers get to say, I created things, I did this, I had this impact, I helped these people. And if that's not what you get excited about, you're doing the wrong freaking thing.
100%.
And back to what you were saying about AI, that kind of circles back to a conversation that we had earlier. AI isn't a product. AI is a delivery mechanism. If you understand what your product is, you can use AI as a tool. AI is never going to be a substitute for the actual product. A good example is some of our competitors that will remain nameless are now generating their editorial content with AI. They actually fired their editorial staffs. If my editors weren't bringing value, I would fire them too. But AI doesn't have relationships with people. AI can't talk to people that are out in the field and say, hey, Jared, we're looking to try to figure out what's next in metal buildings. What are you seeing on a daily basis? If you've got one secret that you need to share with the industry, what should we be writing about? What concerns are hitting you right now? My editors can do that, and my editors are good at that. ChatGPT doesn't. ChatGPT, everything with any of the large language model AI stuff is by definition in the past. If it wasn't in the past, they couldn't search it. Anybody that's in business that's worried more about what they did last year than what they knew next year is going to be unemployed by the end of the summer. So,
Yeah.
and whether it's editors or whether it's anything else, if you can be replaced by a tool, you shouldn't be employed in the first place. And I'll be the first person to, I'm going to rephrase that. I will, I was going to be normal me instead of podcast polite me. But if you can't bring value beyond what AI does, you don't deserve a paycheck.
True story. It will thin the herds. AI is a tool that will thin the herds for sure. It's going to bring the people who are actually performing to the top of the fields. Yep. I use AI. I mean, I'm not going to, I can't sit back and say I don't. I utilize it to streamline myself. I use it as an organization. I mean, I can tell you from an organized side of my life, I've never been more organized than I am right now. Gary and I were talking about this before we got on the podcast together. We both stay super busy. We both got our hands all over the place. But I can tell you, I'm better off for using it. But that doesn't mean that it's going to replace me, because nobody's going to replace me. Nobody's going to replace Gary, right? You know, relationships are everything. And I will say this as we close out, because we're right at our time. We're going to get Gary back.
Okay.
Gary's going to be on as a contributor periodically. We've got so much stuff to do with Shield Wall in the future. But right now, if you're listening and you've made it through the episode, get to the Post Frame Rural Plane Builder Show in York. You can see us do this live. We'll talk in person. If there's an interest for that, we'll get Gary over to the booth. We're going to be out in front. As you come in, you're going to see America Builds Better. Gary is giving us a huge opportunity to be there and be part of this trade show. And honestly, I just love the opportunity, but I love going. And I can't wait for you to be there with me. If you decide to come, great. Reach out to me, jared@americabuildsbetter.com. If you need an exhibitor ticket, I'll get you in. How's that? We'll make sure that you get in and get to hang out with us for a little while, because we just want you to come and experience it with us. This is going to be a very, very fun time. Gary, you got anything for us as we're finishing out, brother?
Just come to the show. And if there's anything that Shield Wall Media that we can do, that we do well, that we do better, I am unfortunately silly enough that my cell phone number and email are actually in pretty much all of our magazines. So if
it's a true story.
No, it is. I'll be driving down the road and my cell phone will go off and it'll be somebody that wants to cancel their subscription because their husband died. And the number of times is like, wait, the guy that owns this is answering the phone. What the? But if you need me for anything, have suggestions, want us to send you some of the Max books, whatever. You can find me. That's one of the reasons that we try. That's one of the reasons that we can do what we do.
Yep. Gary and his team at Shield Wall Media are always making Post Frame better moving forward. And I can tell you, if you're in the need for any of the trade publications, Plane Builder, Rural Builder, Roll Forming Magazine, Frame Building News, et cetera, shieldwallmedia.com is where you want to go. There's a subscribe button at the top of the page. Click subscribe, fill out your information, pick which one of the magazines, maybe all of them, get them coming. They're free. Okay. June 10th and the 11th in York, we'll be there for the Rural Post Frame Plane Builder Show, sponsored by Frame Building News. Thank you as always to the team from Idea Room and Defined SEO. They are helping us move forward and build better. Get out in your communities and do something good for somebody else. I promise you, I swear to you, it will make you feel better. It always makes me feel better. We'll be back at you next week with episode 2 of this series. We're going to talk to someone special, so we'll be here. We want to see you here with us. Have a great week, and we'll talk to y'all soon. Thank you for checking out America Builds Better. If that episode fired you up, make sure you hit subscribe, leave a review, and share this with someone who's ready to level up. We are dropping powerful content filled with strategies, stories, and real talk from the builders shaping the industry. Stay hungry, stay focused, and keep building better. Make sure to check us out at americabuildsbetter.com for more resources and industry tools. This is America Builds Better, where the industry talks back.